Hi, Brad Jarvis here. It's been a while since I've given one of these updates. Uh, Coming up on Memorial Day tomorrow, in a couple of days, and I thought I'd just check in. Um, I've been pretty busy with my novel Biome. Worked through some writer's block, and am working on what is probably the most complex scene that I've ever written about. So that's a lot of fun. Get to visit with my a bunch of my characters. It's given me a bit of a break, mentally and emotionally, from the disaster unfolding in the world, which unfortunately my mathematical modeling has done a pretty good job of capturing as of a few years ago, at least the data. So I'm spending some time in my head dealing with a world that has a better chance of survival with the help of another one that I've also been writing about. So this novel is a prequel to my novel Lights Out, and it is, as such, a it brings in some of the characters from Lights Out, introduces them, fills in some of their backstory, but has a lot of new characters. At least one of those new characters is a uh, crossover from my simulated news blog, the simulated world that blog is involved in. So I've been working recently on the technology behind what the simulated news blog um, referred to as test communities. There is the equivalent of that in the world of Biome and Lights Out. A lot different in terms of its support from uh, the public. It's a bit more secretive in terms of what it's doing, but it does, to some extent, fill in a little bit of backstory around what's in that simulated news blogs world. Heike, I've been trying to um, explore how the different simulator worlds would be similar as well as different. And that's one place where it's very clear that there's activity going on in those worlds. So I've been devoting uh, more time to exploring what those are. Now, this does have some bearing on, of course, the research that I've done about the real world, and I'm exploring the kinds of things that uh, people in the real world might consider doing. So the technology is related. Um, I'm learning a lot about the technologies, the background, the science associated with that scene, and it's kind of fun. Um, and it has been a trigger for doing some research in the more traditional sense of learning what other people are doing. And I will be just letting it evolve and see where it goes. I've already got a pretty good idea where that's going to be. I know one of the endpoints is going to be what the world of Lights Out looks like and where the characters are. So that is one constraint. Um, so that's a big part of what I've been doing. I've been doing other research, not focusing so much on the math, the extrapolations, because I think those are pretty well set given the data that I have. And of course, I spend a lot of time on social media trying to deal with the issues that are facing us, especially here in the United States, and by its bizarre new actions, the rest of the world. I now see much of what's happening now as having a strong analog to the mathematical um, descriptions of the future that my timelines model have developed, especially for the United States. But that's kind of too depressing and overwhelming to spend a lot of time on, though I did do more of it leading up to the presidential election and shortly afterwards. Uh, Still thinking about it a lot, still posting stuff. I'm finding that a lot of the things that I wrote, especially in my Idea Explorer blog, are as um, relative relevant to what's happening now as they were when I wrote them. Much of them during the first term of the present president, and so the various ways that people are protesting, I've been doing my best to uh, present what I would do out there. I'm still spending a lot of time indoors and isolated from other people, wearing masks whenever I go outside because I know that COVID is still out there and it's still doing a lot of damage. And there's a lot of new diseases and old diseases that are um, doing damage and likely to do more damage. And we have a governmental infrastructure now that is less able to deal with those things. I expect a whole lot of death, a lot of pain. I expect it soon. And as much as I would like to blame certain people and certain groups of people, I still hold on to one explanation of my research that we are all facing a degradation psychologically and physically due to the destruction and um, uh, the harm that's been done to natural habitats. And there seems to be more of a chance of that destruction accelerating, which is one of the things that my model projects. And so I am watching that and learning a bunch of stuff, but mainly preoccupied with my own survival and that of my family, which is coming more and more under threat, as is the case with millions of others. So that is my highest priority. And my work on my novel is a way of helping to reduce that stress by engaging my imagination in potential solutions and how they might unfold. So anyway, that's what's been going on. I expect to be doing more of these videos in the not too distant future. Uh, and I hope everybody out there is trying to stay as safe as they can and looking toward how to convert what we're going through now into something positive. So until next time, thanks for watching.